Short-handed with speed, Pacheco the trailer, McKenna, what a move, Gavin McKenna, mastery from Gavin McKenna!
Imagine stepping onto an outdoor rink lit only by the northern lights, your breath freezing on your visor, and hearing scouts whisper that you might already be the best teenage hockey player on earth. That's Gavin McKenna, a kid from the Yukon who's blurring the stat sheets, yanking history forward, and forcing the entire NHL pipeline to redraw its future. He hasn't even chosen where he'll skate next season, yet everywhere he goes, from Memorial Cup pressure cookers to late-night Sportsnet panels, there's a single question: how high can this rocket climb? Keep watching, because what you're about to hear is the side of McKenna's story no highlight reel can show. Before we dive any deeper, make sure to smash that subscribe button, because our prospect deep dives drop faster than McKenna splitting a defense, and you don't want to chase from behind.
Free. Here's a chance for the Tigers on a partial 2-on-1. Could be a break. McKenna in. Score!
Whitehorse, Yukon isn't built for hockey glory. Temperatures plummet, daylight disappears, and ice time is a luxury. So Gavin's dad, Willie, flooded their backyard every winter, hammering 2x4s together until a homemade rink emerged beneath the moonlight. That's where 5-year-old Gavin practiced toe drags against frozen boards and daydreamed about World Juniors gold. Those midnight sessions forged habits most prospects learn later: edge control on uneven ice, stick handling in snowdrifts, and grit you can't coach. Years later, he'd recall sprinting to class on minus 40 degrees Celsius mornings, cheeks numb, legs already warmed from pre-dawn laps around the family rink. What started as a winter coping strategy became the launch pad for a generational talent.
And there's some horse collars going out. Breakaway. Gavin McKenna for the third. 5-hole. Scores!
At 13, he left the Arctic for Kelowna's Rink Academy, confronting kids 3 birthdays older and twice as heavy. Confidence replaced homesickness fast, 65 points in 35 games, but the numbers only hint at how ruthlessly he dissected opponents. Coaches noted how he'd coast toward the blue line, eyes scanning like a chess grandmaster, before slicing laterally and exploding through the slot. Analysts fed clips into AI tracking software. The outputs flagged elite deception and anticipatory acceleration, metrics usually reserved for NHL stars in their mid-20s. Scouts flagged him as a quiet storm, the type who smiles before he breaks ankles.
Weisblatt breaks it. McKenna's got a breakaway for the hat trick. McKenna, he scores.
By the time the 2022 WHL draft rolled around, Medicine Hat was desperate. Last in goals, last in hope, and first on the clock. They took McKenna, and he responded with a 4-assist WHL debut that felt more like a reanimation spell. Fast forward to 2025, and he's the league's living math problem: 129 points, a 40-game point streak, and a 2.30 points per game pace that only Crosby has eclipsed at that age. Opposing coaches rotated 2 defensemen at a time. It didn't matter. He treated them like pylons in a summer camp drill. Beat writers started calling it the point streak curse. If McKenna found the score sheet, the Tigers almost never lost. Guess what? They finished with 82 points and marched to the Memorial Cup.
McKenzie slides ahead. Here's Lindstrom, drops back. Room for McKenna. Scores!
Rimouski, Quebec, June 1st, 2025. Sold out arena, national broadcast, and a London Knights roster stacked with draft year monsters. On the off-day media scrum, McKenna leaned into the mic, shrugged, and said, "Big stage, small rink, same game." Then he went out and banked a highlight reel backhand bar down, plus 2 primary assists that turned the Knights' neutral zone trap to confetti. Analysts raved about the minutia: a shoulder fake that froze a defender half a second, a glide step that opened a passing seam no one else saw. The Tigers lost the cup in overtime, but scouts left buzzing that McKenna was the best skater on either bench at 17. Pressure doesn't shrink him, it sharpens him.
Up for McKenna. He's got a beat on it. Trying to bust in. Trailer, Mercick back for McKenna. One-timer. Score!
For all the record chatter, McKenna's favorite week isn't in the WHL calendar. It's July, when he flies north to run a grassroots skills camp for Yukon kids, many from his Trondek-Hwetchen First Nation roots. He arrives with duffel bags of Tigers gear, stays late to tape sticks, and tells every shy 9-year-old the same thing: the NHL doesn't care where you're born, prove you belong. Local radio hosts joke that tourist traffic increases when he's home, just in case he hops into a charity 3-on-3. Giving back isn't PR polish, it's family code, reinforced every time his parents appear on TSN and can't finish a sentence without smiling. For decades, choosing Major Junior meant closing the NCAA door forever. That iron rule crumbled in November 2024, and its aftershock still rattles boardrooms. Within 72 hours of the announcement, McKenna's phone was buzzing with FaceTime pitches from blue blood programs. Michigan dangling a top-line role beside 3 first-rounders. North Dakota promising power play quarterback duties, plus a sports science lab that tracks every microstride. Boston College flashing a 7-figure NIL package backed by a sneaker conglomerate. Then the curveball, teammate, and 2024 Blue Jackets pick Caden Lindstrom signed with Michigan State, dragging East Lansing into the arms race. Penn State's analytics department countered by producing a 30-page dossier showing how McKenna's controlled zone entry rate would spike on the NCAA's wider offensive schemes. Even Minnesota entered late, waving the Kaprizov training lineage as bait. Meanwhile, the WHL doubled down. A fresh captain's C, unlimited offensive freedom, and a promise to build the entire marketing plan around number 72. Agents whisper that the decision now hinges on 2 factors: how much McKenna values a compressed NCAA schedule, 34 regular season games that leave time for strength gains, and where he sees the best path to immediate World Junior dominance. Whatever jersey he chooses, the ripple effect will rewrite prospect roadmaps for the next decade and may force the CHL to rethink its entire scholarship model. 1 choice, 2 pathways, and every scout on the continent holding their breath. Raw numbers shout, but McKenna's intangibles sing a quieter, stickier tune. Coaches rave about his pre-shift routine, a rapid eye scan across the ice, lip-reading opponents' huddle chatter, then a subtle nod to line mates that acts like a silent playbook. His skating isn't just fast, it's controllable. Those first 3 steps explode, yet he can break into a mohawk glide and shift weight without losing a calorie of speed. Offensively, he layers deception like a poker shark. One sequence from the Memorial Cup semifinal is now coaching clinic lore. He sold a high cycle, spun into a dead stop, waited a beat, and fed a backdoor sauce that arrived exactly as his teammate's stick hit the ice. Defense frozen, goalie helpless. Stat heads drool over the tape because it proves the vision is predictive, not reactive. Away from the puck, he's even more unnerving. Stick lifts time to the heartbeat, shoulder checks every 3 strides, and a subtle lane clog that forces dump-ins. Trainers note his VO2 max sits in the 99th percentile for his age group, yet he still does extra hill sprints in the Yukon off-season. Psychologists hired by NHL teams report a growth mindset obsession. He journals nightly about micro wins rather than counting goals. Put it all together, and executives start using the phrase franchise insurance, the safest bet to anchor a rebuild, fill seats, and sell jerseys before he's legally old enough to rent a car. History adores a plot twist. Just ask Shane Wright, Matvei Michkov, or Philip Forsberg. Pundits hunting for cracks in the McKenna armor point to 3 wild cards: defensive tailoring, developmental churn, and pure chaos. First, defenses will key on him with NHL-bound hammers every shift next season. Can he thrive when matchups shadow him like a collar? Early returns say yes. His points per hour actually rose when facing top-pair competition, but the sample size will grow. Second, the developmental churn. If he opts for NCAA, will fewer games dull his reflex timing? Proponents counter that added gym time could turn him into a 200-pound freight train by draft day, while WHL loyalists claim continuous reps against hardened 19-year-olds are irreplaceable. Third, chaos is undefeated. Injuries, growth spurts gone awkward, or a late-bloom phenom from Sweden could scramble the rankings overnight. Yet every vulnerability comes with a counterweight. He's logged fewer than 5 missed games in 3 seasons, boxes with a Muay Thai coach for core stability, and spent last July with a skating biomechanist who fixed Nathan McKinnon's stride inefficiencies. Mental game? His sports psych mentor has him practicing performance detachment, a trick Connor Hellebike swears by. Add that to the Yukon First Nations chip on his shoulder, and even the harshest skeptics concede. If anyone can navigate the draft gauntlet unscathed, it's Gavin McKenna. Whichever jersey he pulls over his head in June 2026, one thing feels certain: a franchise's entire 5-year plan will shift the moment he walks to that podium. So here we stand, a teenager forged on backyard ice, crowned in WHL fire, and courted by NCAA giants, hurtling toward the 2026 draft like a meteor the league can't ignore. If he keeps stacking multi-point nights and community building mornings, Gavin McKenna won't just be a first overall pick, he'll be hockey's next cultural landmark. Think the hype train is justified, or are we one twist away from a draft day shocker? Let me know below, smash that subscribe button so you never miss the latest prospect deep dive, and stay tuned, because somewhere under the Yukon stars, a kid may already be turning tomorrow's highlight into yesterday's news.
Speed, Pacheco the trailer, McKenna, what a move, Gavin McKenna, mastery from Gavin McKenna! Tigers enter the zone with speed, Basha to the slot, McKenna scores! 2 in a row for Gavin McKenna, has the Tigers in. Skate to the high slot, takes the shot, scores! Gavin McKenna! McKenna calling for it, he's gonna get it. One-timer, scores! St. Martin off his own rebound to the right point. McKenna, a shot, a score! Gavin McKenna, a seeing eye shot from the right. It's back in front, Weisblatt gets McKenna, sharp side, they score! McKenna on the backhand.
Bit ahead, but the Tigers bring it back in. Here's McKenna against Yakimchuk. Turn him around the outside, got it in front, they score!
Got a stick on the puck, Tigers still with it. McKenna, one-timer, scores! 50th in the Western League. McKenna walks in the circle, feeds one up high, Van Mulligan. He shoots just wide. McKenna, doorstep, score! Takes it on the backhand, centers one in front. He scores off of Victoria Royal and in. Gavin McKenna is left side, Weisblatt, right side. McKenna, he scores! Hat trick for Gavin McKenna. Tigers work it back in. McKenna in alone. McKenna 5-hole scores! Gavin McKenna, second of the night. Tigers skate the other way. McKenna in the slot, scores! Gavin McKenna ties the game at 1 with 6:29. Molendyke drops it for Weisblatt. Down low, McKenna scores! Welcome back!
Weisblatt, long stretch, set play off the wall, treble for McKenna, sharp angle, he scores!
Back to the blue line, Vassinen to the front, tipped on, rebound, scores! McKenna bangs it home.
Trying to get his second of the night. Puck left side, back over to McKenna, shoots and scores!
He'll center it, scores! Molendyke sends this one to the front of the net.
Tigers shorthanded, come through center. McKenna in the left circle. Oh! He's playing it on rookie. Quickly left side, McKenna, low shot, he scores! 4 points in the first period. That was intercepted. Tigers have a breakaway shorthanded. McKenna in alone. 5 for McKenna. Centers it for Weisblatt. Weisblatt back for McKenna. In alone, Gavin McKenna scores! Cross-ice feed for Ritchie. Deflects to the point. They score! Visor with the shot. McKenna tipped it home. McKenna calling for it. He's going to get it. One-timer. Score!